We're now joined by Prashant Patil, who is in fact one of the lawyers of the accused in this juvenile Porsche crash case. Prashant Patil, let me begin by asking you, this is a huge setback because the bail that was granted by the JJB has now been modified and the accused is now being sent to a juvenile observation home.
See, it's a matter of interpretation. What do we call as a quote-unquote setback? According to us, the 19th May 2024 order has been modified, wherein the child in conflict in law, the CCL, was allowed to go back to his residence, has now been directed to stay at a rehabilitation home. The particular application that was moved by the investigating agencies, that was the purpose was this particular child in conflict with law, if he stays outside, there was a threat to his security. So for his own safety, he was directed to stay at a particular detention home.
No, but Mr. Patil, this is fine. I mean, you're a lawyer for the accused. That is fine you saying this. But at the end of the day, the kind of bail conditions that have been given for someone, even though a juvenile who has killed two young individuals, snuffed out their lives due to highly irresponsible acts like underage drinking, underage driving, and the Juvenile Justice Board says write a 300-word essay. I mean, there has to be some concept of proportionality. It shocked the entire nation.
Sir, can I speak now? So that particular order today has been set aside. I am not the spokesperson for that particular order. All that I can tell you what happened today before the Honorable Juvenile Justice Board, because I'm still at the court right now as we speak, was that particular order of 19th May 2024 was modified, and there are certain directions given for this particular child in conflict with law to stay at a rehabilitation home. We have not yet received the entire order. Only the operative part of the order was announced today. What are the parameters laid down by the Honorable Court, we'll only come to know by tomorrow.
Yeah, but then it is a setback, Mr. Patil, because at the end of the day, bail was granted in 15 hours, shockingly, and now that bail has been cancelled. The person is no longer out on bail.
Technically, the bail has not been cancelled. For cancellation of bail, there has to be an application under Section 439 subclause 2 of CRPC. I don't want to sound technical. Cancellation of bail has a different connotation. Modification of bail is a completely different connotation. As on today, there are directions for this particular child in conflict in law to stay at a rehabilitation home.
Mr. Prashant Patil, let me put it very simply. We've spoken earlier to the parents of the victim, of the young individual, the young girl who lost her life. They are demanding that this person be tried as an adult. And they say this is a fit case because otherwise rich, spoilt brats across the country will misuse their father's money and power like this time and again. What will you say to the parents who've lost their child?
Sir, I will not be able to comment anything on that part because I am under instructions only to tell you what exactly transpired today. As on today, the investigating officer did move a separate application to treat this particular child in conflict in law as an adult. That particular application could not be heard because according to the provisions of law, which is an admitted provision throughout the country, the scheme of the act says that whenever a child in conflict in law is arraigned as an accused or has been arrested by the investigating officer,
Mr. Patil,
within 30 days a charge sheet has to be filed.
Mr. Patil, we all understand the law. We have all pretty much read about this and heard about this case a lot over the past 48 to 72 hours since it has been reported in the public domain. But the one thing that stands out is that repeatedly the system has failed to protect people, because whether it is at the level of the bar owners who allowed underage drinking to take place, whether it is the father who allowed an unregistered vehicle to be driven by an underage driver, his son, at multiple levels, the system seems to have failed. And there are charges even that the police was busy feeding fast food to this young man so that his blood alcohol levels could come down. That's a charge that has been made.
Sir, I'll tell you what. Today I was told and invited as a guest to update on what exactly transpired in the court. Any such kind of allegations made against my client, I'll have to wait for the charge sheet to be filed in the form of an evidence. Only then I'll be in a position to speak about it. All these allegations which are there in public domain As a lawyer, nothing has come to me in the form of evidence, in the form of a charge sheet.
Why do you need a charge sheet? Is he not an underage
Prior
driver?
to that, because it is a case under Juvenile Justice Act.
Mr. Patil, just 1 second. We are not.
Have you decided that he has driven the car?
In a vacuum. The whole country is aware of the facts of this case. The person is your accused, who you are representing, is an underage driver. The two bar owners have been arrested along with his father, and you are saying I don't know the facts in this case. Please don't insult the intelligence of the common people of this country, sir. I understand you're a lawyer, but that doesn't mean you just ignore the facts.
Again at the cost of reputation, I'll tell you. Under the scheme of the Act, I'm not permitted to speak about these facts. That is my difficulty. The way you can speak about it in public domain, as a lawyer, I'm not permitted to. It is not that I don't want to.
No, please counter them.
The knowledge of these facts.
If you have facts to counter them, if you think that I'm being economical with the truth, please do that. Who is stopping you from doing that?
No, that counter of facts will only happen after a particular stage. As a lawyer, I cannot talk about it in public domain. That's my difficulty.
No, that is your legal difficulty in a trial court, sir. That is certainly not the case in this particular matter, because this is something.
It is my difficulty.
Because this is something that has outraged the entire nation. Mr. Prashant Patil, just tell us one thing. A few years ago, we had seen in Delhi a similar case where a Mercedes car was being driven by an underage driver. There also a young man lost his life. Why is it that city after city, and of course lawyers who defend such people, who commit such despicable acts, crimes, killing people, why should such persons not be tried as adults? The court may decide it's another issue, but please explain to the people of this country. You're a lawyer, you understand the law. How are people able to take advantage of these legal loopholes?
First of all, every accused in this country has a right, his fundamental right, that he can defend himself through a lawyer. My duty as a lawyer is only to put across the law. What happens during the course of trial, whether a particular accused is convicted or acquitted, is the jurisdiction of the Honorable Court.
But let me
Again,
ask
at the cost of reputation, I'll tell you.
No, let me ask you.
I was invited to this show.
That's fine.
Only to appraise what has happened today. I will not be able to answer this.
There are terrorists in this country who have been defended as well. I'm not getting into that. That's how the legal system works. But if there is a legal loophole that has deliberately been exploited time and again by different individuals across the country, here you have the parents of the victim saying, it's high time we amend the law, because we should not allow this kind of misuse to take place time and again, so that other parents don't suffer like we do. What will you say to such parents, sir?
If there are certain amendments required for the law, that is for the parliamentarians to decide. As of now, I can tell you one thing. Admittedly, there are certain situations in this particular case, like there is a driver inside the car who is an adult driver who has also been identified by the police and the eyewitnesses. So we are at a premature stage of investigation. I am not the investigating officer. So I will not be able to make any statement on what is the part of evidence on record that who is driving and who is
at this
not
point
driving.
of time, when
the
builder, the father,
listen to me.
Made an escape plan, he lied to the police, he switched cars, he drove to Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, formerly known as Aurangabad, used a friend's vehicle, instructed another driver to take one of the cars to go out to further confuse the police, and to avoid being tracked through his phone, he obtained a new SIM card. There's clearly repeated attempts at trying and circumventing the law by a person who is very powerful. Why should any of this be believed?
Okay, then I will tell you. Then you want to hear me on this?
Yeah, please answer. I'm asking you the question.
So I'll tell you what is the legal position. The child in conflict in law, his father, was alleged with the section 75, 77 of Juvenile Justice Act and certain provisions of Motor Vehicle Act. The legal position today, and again I'll tell you as a lawyer, I'll only tell you what is the legal position as of now as we speak. In August 2021, the Union of India has passed a notification. It is declared in the official gazette that there cannot be any arrest for section 75 and 77. Whether any person has changed cars or not, that I'm not privy to. I'm not aware of that facts. But I'll tell you the provision today, there cannot be any arrest on that particular section. So whether that can be challenged before the High Court in the right remedy of writ, that is time to see.
Well, you have every right to challenge the police if you feel the police is not doing a legal job, but certainly, of course, many would say that the father would have to bear moral, if not legal, responsibility for what his ward has done. And my last question to you, sir. This has been very widely reported that as per CBI sources, the family of the 17-year-old has allegedly got an underworld connection with the grandfather of the 17-year-old boy, allegedly making payments to gangster Chota Rajan in a shootout case. Is there a larger ploy over here? Because the antecedents do raise questions.
Sir, what kind of a question is this to a lawyer?
No, you tell us about the background, sir.
Answer this. You tell me.
You tell us about the background. We are asking about the family's background. He's your client.
How do I know about the background?
Defend your client, sir.
I think you're misunderstanding the entire situation here.
No, there is no misunderstanding. This is very widely being reported, sir.
Neither am his family.
Please Google the grandfather of the Pune accused.
So it can be widely reported. How do I know?
Rajan. This has been very widely reported.
I do not know anything. I do not know anything about this. So how do I deal with it? I do not know about it.
You do not know about it.
A lawyer is not supposed to know about the background of the client.
Oh, you're not supposed to know the background.
Definitely.
Well, certainly you haven't done your research work then, Mr. Patil.
Absolutely
That's all we can say. You have not done your research well.
Please, listen, I don't need to conduct that research. Advocates Act is very clear. We are given a brief, we have to represent that in the court of law.
Right.
After the court of law, we have nothing to do with the client.
Well, certainly, if this is brought up, this is brought up by the prosecution, at that stage, at least, we hope you have researched this, because it does appear that at some level or the other, this is going to raise some serious questions about what really is the background of the person that you are defending at the end of the day, Mr. Patil.
This is the first time. Is it all? Should I just end up the interview now?
You don't have an answer. You're welcome to walk away if you don't have an answer.
Okay.
Well, there it is, Mr. Patil, who clearly does not have an answer to the questions that we have asked. And these are all facts in the public domain. A case which has outraged everyone. You can see Mr. Patil smiling because he does not have an answer. Questions which are out there, facts which are out there for everyone to see. Unfortunately, when posed with the tough questions, this is normally what happens when those who are defending the indefensible come on camera. And that's exactly what you've seen here today, ladies and gentlemen.